Now, how do we get to a better place? Because all the reporting we're having, you heard from Leland Vittert earlier in the show, and you'll hear after tonight, is that, maybe next week, not until the elections, we don't want to give too strong a message, but, maybe after that. And if not, probably go through around Thanksgiving. Really? Let's ask two people willing to come on together. Remember, that's the NewsNation way. If you're not willing to talk to the other side, I don't want to hear your face. Democratic member of Congress, Washington State, Adam Smith. Republican member of Congress, California, Kevin Kiley. And Kev, I'll have you know, one of the first things that Adam said when we were asking him what mattered tonight is, hey, Kiley is one of the few that stayed in town to do his job. That one of the reasons I love Adam. Now, Kevin, help me with something. Is anything I just said, forget about how you feel about SNAP. Do you disagree with my analysis about why what is happening with SNAP is happening right now?
I agree with a lot of what you said. I mean, number one, that it's absolutely essential that we protect those SNAP benefits. And number two, that there are plenty of layers of political dysfunction at play here. Number one, in terms of the government itself shutting down. Number two, I'm co-sponsoring a bill that would at least assure that SNAP benefits continue. But the House of Representatives isn't even in session, so we can't advance that bill. So, look, I mean, I'm glad that there's apparently legal authority to tap into that contingency fund, but that's not even going to provide for full payments for a month, only for partial payments. So it's at best a Band-Aid. What we need to do is get the government open, and short of that, get an appropriation for SNAP itself.
Right, but on the flip side, there's absolutely no reason for you to not use the reserve fund. The only reason to not use the reserve fund is to make this worse. Do we agree on that?
No, I agree. To the extent that there's legal authority, it should be used, but these are going to be partial payments that don't go very far. We need to get SNAP fully.
Yeah, I know, Kevin, but I'm just saying, look, I get it. It's not enough. But I'm saying, your MAGA team didn't even want this. You don't have to wait on legal authority. You allowed it in the first administration. You don't have to wait on legal authority. You had two judges tell you can do it. You don't have to wait on legal authority. The GAO told you that you could do it. The guidance of the agency said you could do it until they mysteriously changed the guidance for the benefit of this shutdown. I'm telling you, Kevin, it's an easy call. The shutdown itself is a harder call. Adam, that takes me to you. The easiest way to get these people their benefits is to reopen the government, and but for Senate Democrats, the government would be open. So what does that mean to you in terms of it being on Democrats to find a way to make a deal to do exactly that?
Well, first of all, let me defend Kevin a little bit. I think he did very straightforwardly agree with you. Now, that the benefit should be paid.
I'm a big fan of Kevin. I'm pro Kiley. Pro Kiley. He's young. He's better looking than me. Usually I don't let those guys on the show. But I'm pro Kiley. I'm still pro Kiley. Continue, Adam.
I'm really enjoying this.
The one thing I'll also say is, it is billions of dollars. It's not a pittance. It's a pretty significant amount of money that will pay a fair amount of benefits for quite a while. And it shouldn't have been held up, as you said. Look, the shutdown's complicated and difficult because we had a crisis coming November 1st. Mike Johnson said, we'll talk to you November 21st. And we're like, no, the healthcare thing happens. And by the way, I'm not a Democrat who's saying you have to do it exactly our way on the ACA. We made an offer. Come make us an offer. Let's figure out how we're going to deal with the millions of people who are going to lose healthcare on November 1st.
Adam, what do you think about my idea of giving them the reimbursement issue? Give them the reimbursement issue for undocumented migrants. Let them figure out the percentage.
By that. I'm willing to look at different issues. I'm not going to commit to anything based on just something I heard you say in a monologue. But yeah, I mean, we should have a conversation about how to get to the right place on that. The shutdown's complicated. One thing I really admire Kevin for, because of many problems with this, the idea that Mike Johnson shut down Congress, that basically he dissolved the United States House of Representatives since September 19th in favor of executive authority, is unbelievably disturbing. And it also made the situation worse. In every other shutdown that we've had before, even as we fought and disagreed about how to open the government, we tried to mitigate the damages. We tried to find ways to make it less bad. And Mike Johnson said, screw you, we're going home. This is our offer. Nothing to be said. Now, two things on the shutdown. Sorry, you threw a lot at me here, so I'm trying to get through it. But two things on the shutdown. Number one, when you say, shutdown should be illegal, the problem with that is when you get to October 1st, if you haven't passed appropriations bills, if you just do a CR, there are Republicans, not Kevin, but there are Republicans in the House who have advocated for several sessions now, year-long CR, never fund the government. And if we gave them what you just said, that's what we'd get. There'd be no appropriations bills. We'd just have a CR forever, which is devastating to the government and puts us in an impossible position. Either we vote for a budget that we don't like or we shut down the government. So it is much more complicated, and there's no never shut down the government, everything will be okay. No, if you're talking about a budget that reflects only Trump's priorities, the purpose of the filibuster is to force negotiation, is to say, okay, you got to have Democrats, got to have Republicans, let's both come together. Trump and Mike Johnson said, no, sorry. What it means is you have to vote for our budget. Now, I will say this, and this will make you a little happier. November 1st is coming. It's almost here, hours away. Nothing was done. House Republicans didn't deal with it. The pain is ratcheting up. I'm perfectly willing to have a conversation with my Democratic colleagues and say, look, we tried. We tried to force this issue. The Republicans ignored it. We need to think about now what the next step is. And the next step may be finding some way to open the government short of what we wanted. That's a reasonable conversation to have. But if we had said, no, we'll never shut down the government, you guys are completely in control, we would have had no leverage whatsoever to force positive changes for the American people, to give people health care that they're going to lose. So
I understand the argument, but there's one aspect of it that is not a secret, which is the people who pay for the shutdown do not deserve to pay the price.
Oh, completely agree with that.
And that is why, to me, I know you do, but that's why, to me, it's an unacceptable mechanism, and I think you can work around the year-long CR within whatever restricts the shutdown.
The people who pay for programs being canceled because President Trump doesn't follow the appropriations law, they're not the people who vote for it either. So the notion that somehow if the government isn't shut down and we just let this go forward, no one's paying anything, that's the part I disagree with.
I get it. I get it. All right. Kevin, I'll give you a last quick word so you can go out and trick or treat.
That's right. Look, we need to get the government back open, and I don't disagree that there are legitimate issues here. Certainly, I'm very concerned about the ACA subsidies issue, and I understand the concerns of the other side around rescissions. And I'm not a fan of CRs. I totally agree with Adam on that, having another year-long CR. Congress hasn't actually passed enacted a full budget or a real appropriations bill since March of last year. The idea that we'd put this on autopilot for another year is absolutely crazy to me. But, you know, as Adam detailed, the consequences of this government shutdown are continuing to pile up. The idea that we could even think about people losing SNAP benefits, all of the people that are being furloughed. We need to get the government back open, but I also think it's absolutely unacceptable that the House of Representatives has now canceled its 6th consecutive week of session. That means that we've missed all of our hearings and legislative oversight and everything else we were supposed to do. And it also absolutely set the wrong tone for trying to find some bipartisan common ground to get us out of this mess.
Well said. Amen. Well said, but be careful. You're going to get kicked off all the committees. Don't be too honest, Kevin. Don't be too honest. Adam Smith, thank you very much. Kevin Kiley, thank you for having a candid conversation. I wish you both very well. We'll discuss again. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.